15 years from now, you should have over $1 million. I believe you should have more, but we'll just start with $1 million. You should have over $1 million. And Caroline, I believe, is 24. She should be sitting on about $5 million by the time she gets to my age. And people are like, really? Yes, really.
All right. I know what you're thinking. Who is this guy, and how can we become millionaires within 15 years? I thought the same thing. In fact, he said this to me 5 years ago when we first started working together.
If you do not have $3 million by the time you're my age at 46, I have failed you and you have failed yourself.
This is Javon McCormick. He is the president and CEO of Scribe Media. Javon didn't come from money. Far from it. He was born and raised in the ghetto by a single mom who couldn't afford the rent. He grew up on food stamps, and he was actually homeless when he was in high school. But in spite of all that, he taught himself how to invest and became a self-made millionaire.
You all want to get to the point where you have a stream of money being made other than just your career, where you're making money in the stock market, you're making money through rental properties, you're making money through whatever the case may be.
Javon taught everyone at our company the steps to become a millionaire, and now we want to share it with you. In this video, you'll learn Javon's 15 steps to become a millionaire through investing. Now, a quick disclaimer, this video is for informational purposes only. The stocks Javon talks about are what he actually purchased for himself. So what you decide to invest in is up to your circumstances and your preferences. Do your own homework first, so you know how much of your money you could potentially lose and what could cause it to happen. And the last thing before we get started is be sure to click like so more people who want to learn investing can see this video, and subscribe to this channel if you want to get more videos like this from Javon. Now, without further ado, here is Javon McCormick on how to invest.
So many people will look back, and Matthew's heard me say this, and are like, oh, I should have invested in my 401k here. I wish I would have, and you all know how I feel about the word wish. I wish I would have started here. Here's the thing. You can wish, hope, and do everything else about what you could have done over here. Don't live a what-if life. You can't change it. Okay, so what are you going to start doing today to either study how I'm going to start putting my money? But don't look back. You can't. Okay, so great. You wish you would have. Keep wishing. See what happens. Not going to put any compound interest on anything. So start today. Look at going forward. I never look back on a trade. Did I make money? Yes. Great. I won. So if I got in at 50, I got out at 100, but the stock went to 125, I don't care about the other 25. I made my money at 100. I'm leaving with more than I came with. It's all that matters. So many people want to sit there and look, oh, if I would have done this. Well, if you would have picked the 6 lottery numbers last night too, you would have won. But what's that mean? So never live what if. Only live with what can I do? What am I going to do going forward? If your definition of success is a tiny house out on 5 acres in the middle of nowhere making $36,000 a year, then you've succeeded if you've hit that. Success may not be the Forbes 400. Success may not be hundreds of millions or billions of dollars in your account. Never let, it's interesting, I was listening to you all talk about this, don't let Twitter, TikTok, MySpace, Instagram, don't let any of that bullshit define success for you. Success can only be defined by you, not your parents, not your spouse, not your partner, not Scribe. What is success for you? And in defining that success, for me, God, health, family, business, and investing. And you have to pick 3 to 5. The younger you are, I would say 3. You're a little older, 50, pick 5. Never more than what you can put on one hand. And ask yourself, what am I willing to cut at all costs that these 5 things, I won't let anything get in the way for that success. You do have to ask yourself, am I achieving my dreams and goals binge watching. If I'm not happy where I am, I probably shouldn't be binge watching. It is what it is. What do you, you're making a choice. It's what it is. Like I said, I love the show Billions, but you can't sit down at 6 o'clock on a Friday evening and binge watch until Sunday at 6 o'clock, and then 7 o'clock on Sunday evening, you're like, I gotta go to work tomorrow. Okay, well, what'd you do over the weekend to change your circumstances other than watch Game of Thrones? So, yeah, I mean, you have to be honest with yourself.
You always say, when was the last time you binge studied?
Yes! When's the last time anybody came into the office or you've met one of your friends or, ooh, girl, I binge studied my 401k all weekend. Eyes are just tired. No one says that. No one has said it. I studied all week. Oh my God. I can tell you every IRA out there, right? What do you need to know? You need index fund? I got them all. Studied all week. No one says that. No one. But boy, I got people that can tell me character after character in a different Netflix show. Oh, we watched all the top 10 from the beginning. What's my man, Tiger or somebody? What's the Tiger King? Yeah, they can tell you what did you see what he did? He's in prison and they ate the tiger. You're like, okay. How many charges did you have when your credit card statement was like? Crickets. No clue. That's wrong. I'm not saying it's wrong to watch Tiger King. I'm saying it's wrong not to know this and be binge watching Tiger King. That's all I'm saying. Be honest with yourself. Look at your statement. Do you need or do you want? Big ass difference. Big ass difference. Do I need Disney Plus, Netflix, HBO Max? Do I need all three? Can I get by on one of them? And think about what each one of them is like $9.99. I know the ultimate one for Netflix was at like $15.99 or something now. So you start adding these up. It's funny. Everyone bitched so much about cable bills. But if you start adding up all the actual subscriptions, now you're right back in a cable bill. And it's funny, but because people could sign on for Disney $9.99, Netflix $15.99, this one, you feel better. You look at them holistically, you're right back up $50, $75 a month, depending on how many you have. So be honest with yourself and just say, okay, that's got to go. That's got to go. Not going to do that. If you're sitting on some big interest rate credit cards, don't you dare invest. Knock out those 18, 20, 22% interest rate on those credit cards. Knock them out. In T-Pain's case, where she said she still has a student loan, but it's 0% interest, yes, you need to be investing because this money can make money over here. This is sitting at zero. Okay, just continue to make your little minimum monthly payment and put as much money as possible over here to invest. So that comes down to truly knowing your numbers. If you're sitting on some high-ass interest, don't you dare go trying to invest right now until you pay off those high interest rate credit cards, loans, whatever it is. Then get into the investing game. Pick a stock, find something you like, maybe study the company. Maybe it is Apple, maybe it's Google. You know, find a company. If you're like, yeah, I don't want to study stocks day in, day out. You know, that's not my thing. I don't want to be just immersed with balance sheets in the stock market. Okay, let's sit down, find a stock you like. What has the stock done? How high has it been? How low has it been? What do I see is it having the ability to do? Obviously, I'm a fan of Costco. You hear me keep talking about it. Costco's at its all-time high. So if you got into Costco right now, it could still go up. I believe it'll still go up. But I also, when I'm looking to make money in investing, I'm looking at what's the delta in between that I see that I can make? So if I got in at 173, but it's been as high as 240, I know there's some money in between there to be made. Compound interest is just, I mean, look at that. Look what happens if you invest $50 a month. As your careers grow and you put more money in this and it continues to grow, 35 years old, 35, there's no reason when they hit 50, they shouldn't have $1 million. There's no reason you shouldn't have minimum $3 million. I believe you should have 5 when you're 50. That gives you a full 26 years. You know, I don't live a what-if life. If I could go back to 24, I know I'd have more money than I have now. I'd probably have it doubled.
Who's the guy that throughout our lifetime, we've known as the wealthiest man on the planet?
Bill Gates. Warren Buffett.
Warren Buffett, right. So Warren Buffett, he started investing when he was 10.
Yeah.
And do you guys know what percentage of his wealth, which is in, what is it now, like 180 billion or something?
Yeah, he's up there.
Has he earned after the age of 52? What percentage?
Do I get to raise my hand?
No.
Okay.
I'm going to guess like 80%.
80%? What was the other guess?
My guess was going to be the exact opposite. Not most of it.
Not most of it. Any other guesses? 99.7%.
Was that, yeah?
That's compound interest.
Yep. And so, but he's 89, 90 now. So most of his money's been made after he was 50, 52 years old. Keeps me motivated. If you don't want to do anything but buy the stock and hold it, and you don't want to be an active investor where you're studying the market, find your 2, 3 stocks out there that you just want to invest in and continue to put money in month after month, set it and forget it. I put all my trades on Slack, almost all of them. If you go back 4 years ago, I said to everyone, buy Costco. You do nothing else, buy Costco. Every month, buy some shares of Costco. Take some money, buy some shares of Costco. When I said that, Costco was trading at $153 4 years ago. You want to know what Costco's trading at right now when we walked in here? $442. If all you continued to do each month was buy a little bit of Costco, that's what would have happened. And you'd be sitting on $442 a share. Your net worth would have increased. Here's a great one. Goldman Sachs, one of, many people don't like them, one of, in my opinion, one of the greatest financial institutions in the country. Back in 2009, Goldman Sachs was trading around $66. Right now, Goldman Sachs is trading at about $401. So if from 2009 to now, all you did was buy Goldman Sachs stock, look what it'd be worth right now. So that's, I just look for, especially people who just want to be, let me just set it and forget it. Let me do something that's very consistent, easy to do. Look for those type of opportunities. When I was in the mortgage game, let's go back to 2006. Gentleman walked in and he had on some ratty khaki pants, looked like he had been painting. He had on a ratty t-shirt, just broken down black shoes. Older gentleman. And he comes in with a younger lady with him. They sit down and he says, I want to buy my granddaughter a house. And I was like, oh, okay, great. You know, so we did our conversation because I'm going to treat everybody the same regardless of what you have on. And so we got into what kind of house, blah, blah, blah. And this gentleman has this old satchel next to him, puts it up on the table, and he proceeds to pull out original Bank of America stock certificates. He had stock certificates in there from the 40s. And I'm sitting there like, looking, well, one, because I'm just in awe because they were original stock certificates. I'm like, this is incredible. So then I asked him, I go, how did you do this? He said back in the 30s, he wanted to buy a piece of land, small piece of land, and no one would lend him the money. Bank of America lent him the money. From then on, he bought Bank of America stock every month. When he pulled out those stock certificates, he had about $5.5 million in Bank of America stock certificates, and it was the only stock he ever bought. He had bought it every month, and that's how he accumulated that. And there he was, just proud that he was buying his granddaughter a house. Just proud, like that. He was more proud of that than the stock that he had accumulated. But it was just the power of all he did was buy that same stock month after month, consistently. We live in an instant gratification society. Everybody wants shit right now. Like literally, we're the type of society that if we want to lose 30 pounds, we want to go to the gym today at 2 o'clock, and by 4, we want that gone. And then there's some people who even have attitude that they can't do it by 3. And so we all want it right now. The power of consistency is just, we don't have that as a society anymore. Like, people want everything right now. It's why the diet industry is a multi-billion dollar industry, because everyone's looking for the fast, how do I make money? It's why the whole GameStop revolt is how everyone thinks that they can go in now, invest $1,000 and become a millionaire in 2 days. And so consistency is the key. So much so, people always ask me, Javon, what's the one thing? What's the one thing you do? What's the one thing you did to become successful? And I used to hate the question, because there's no one thing. I'm like, you hear my background? Shit I went through. There's no one thing that it took. But I came down and I said, you know what? The one thing I have is consistency. I consistently kept moving forward. Consistently believed I can get through this. Consistently invested, whatever. Consistency is the key to all this.
How do you feel about NFTs?
That's some shit I don't understand.
Okay.
Won't touch it. Like a digital photo. I get it. It sounds cool. Like it can never be reproduced.
Well, your original, you like gain money every time it's traded.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't feel that I'm missing out. I don't understand it. I don't get in. It's funny, going with what Lysandra said. If you go to Vegas and we all go to the roulette wheel, we all understand red or black. All right, Caleb, what do you get? Black. All right, great. But if we go over to the craps table, I mean, unless you all understand, like, I don't understand craps. I don't understand the whole thing. So it's like, we could go put some money down, but we have no clue what's going on. But I understood red and black. It's kind of the same thing. I don't understand NFTs. I don't, you heard me say it. I do not understand the influencers that need to put on yoga pants and get their pose on, or dudes that want to pose with their shirts off, and I don't get it, and so I don't invest in things that I don't understand. I don't do it. So yeah, NFTs, I see it and I hear people like, oh man, this went for that and this, great. I'll take my ass back over here and invest in 3M because I understand what they do. And oh, wait a minute. Oh, N95 mask? Oh, do you know who makes all those? Oh, 3M. See, I go for where, oh, that makes sense. Give me some of that. But I don't understand NFTs. So during the virus disruption back in March of 2020, Restoration Hardware stock just dove and it went down to like $83. Right now, so here we are, 15 months later, 15 months, their stock's trading at like $690. Mother of God. and so here's what I realized. And it actually told you a lot about society as a whole as well. So when you all say, okay, how do I trade? Because I know Charlie wants to know how do I look at things? I look at things from a very common sense perspective. I look at things from a sentiment perspective. What are people doing? How does this actually translate into the real world? The people who were hurt the most in our country during the virus disruption were minimum wage to $25 an hour workers. That's who was hurt the most in this country. Those people never shopped at Restoration Hardware anyway. The people who flourished during the virus disruption were the people who could afford to buy Restoration Hardware, who were at home and said, hey, we should remodel our living room. Hey, we should get a new dining room. And they started ordering from Restoration Hardware. Restoration Hardware already had like a six-week wait list when you bought something from them. The wait list now to get something from Restoration Hardware is 8 to 9 months. So you might want a couch now, but you're not getting it until spring of next year. And what I realized is that's why that stock went up, because the people who could afford to buy them didn't get hurt at all. They actually made more money. So everything you just saw me walk you through there was nothing technical. There was no deep technical analysis of the balance sheet and the yield and the 200-day moving average. You didn't hear me say any of that. You heard me talk about society and what happened. And that's what made that stock move, was the people who could afford to buy it continued to buy it. And it sent the stock through the earnings through the roof. When I invest, I'm common sense. You all know there's not a lot going on up here, so everything's just got to be very basic for me. Virus disruption, Costco is going to succeed. Holidays, Costco is going to succeed. Summertime, Costco is going to succeed. Back to school, Costco is going to succeed. Everybody's got to eat. Costco's got damn near a flawless business model. So Alibaba is basically the Amazon of China. So for me, I was like, wait a minute. So Amazon did what they did, I'm just talking about America, did what they did with roughly 325 million Americans. I'm like, Alibaba's got 1.3 billion people to do it with. That makes sense to me. And so I invested in Alibaba when it was $93 and it went up to $300. Again, that trades on Slack. You can go see it. And then I did the same thing with JD.com and other Chinese e-commerce. And then Baidu. Baidu is the Chinese Google, trying to kick Google out of China. And I'm like, hey, so if they're going to protect their own, Baidu's their Google, what do you think is going to happen? Matthew saw this. We rode Baidu from just under 100 up to 300 as well. But again, common sense trading. I'm like, okay, well, wait a minute. If you're going to kick Google out, and Google is as big as Google is, and you're going to take care of your own, well, that's a good trade. This is one of my favorite trades, even more than the JD.com. So JD.com made a lot of money, but this trade right here, up until JD.com, was my most lucrative, favorite. It's still my favorite trade ever made. Back in 2013, 2014, American Airlines filed bankruptcy. And I remember saying to myself, oh man, again, because I'm old, I'm aged is what I like to say. I mean, like wine. You know, they don't say wine's old, they say it's aged. So I was like, oh, well, TWA, Pan Am. You know, I had watched airlines fold over the years. I'm like, another one going down. So it intrigued me. I'm like, what happened? Why'd they file bankruptcy? So I started reading about American Airlines, digging in what's going on. And so I was reading the statements. And I came across that American Airlines had $4 billion in cash. I'm like, who the hell files bankruptcy with $4 billion in cash? Then come to find out, part of the problem why they were filing bankruptcy is they could not negotiate with the unions. The pilots union, the flight attendants union, and I didn't even know the baggage handlers had a union, but they had one too. So what ended up happening, they said, okay, we can't get everybody to come to the table. We can't get this, we're filing bankruptcy. And I was like, oh man, stock went down to like 25 cents a share. I was like, oh. So I kept reading about it. Then I saw that, I said, okay, $4 billion in cash. You're not going out of business. Like, you still have money to operate. So I got in at 35 cents a share. And here's what's funny. This is the benefit of ignorance. Every person that went to Wharton, every person that went to Harvard, every person who works at a hedge fund, they knew the rule that you never put 90% of your net worth on one trade. Well, because I didn't go to Wharton, I didn't go to Ivy League school, I didn't know that rule. I put 90% of my money into American Airlines at 35 cents a share. My only goal was to get to $1. I was like, I get to $1, I'm gonna get out, oh, I'm gonna get paid. So goes up to about 55. Word comes out that a bankruptcy judge approved them to buy more jets. And I was like, see, I told you, no one's going out of business. Then the judge is approving you to buy jets. I'm like, oh, they're not leaving. They're coming back out of this. They're gonna come out of bankruptcy or they're gonna merge. Stock went up to $1.35. I'm like, I am holding. Word came out, US Air was possibly interested in a merger. Stock went up to like $5.35. And I was like, oh yeah, holding this party. Long story short, I held the stock up to $13 and change. They came out of bankruptcy. They merged with US Air. Again, if you notice, there was nothing technical where people say candlestick trading, 20-day moving averages. You didn't hear me say any, you didn't talk about yields. You didn't hear me say any of that. I gave you the story. I trade on common sense. You have $4 billion in cash, your ass is not going out of business. And that's what I made the trade on. If I had to say the only mistake, and it's hard to say it was a mistake because it was highly profitable, was I did not know the rule that you don't put 90% of your money in one trade. But still my favorite trade because I followed the story. It was all right there. And so yeah, that's how I trade. Just remember, you only lose if you sell it. Stocks go up, stocks come down. You know, you heard me say, I got into Airbnb at 173. Right now it's at like 141. I only lose if I sell it. Hold it, it'll come back. Party will come back. Just like I said, Goldman Sachs was at 66. Think about this, before Apple split like it did, back in 2009 during the credit crisis, Apple was $83 a share, okay? Before it split, Apple went up to $717. It will come back. It's what the market does. Ride it out. It will come back. The key is always be there. Always be in the market. Don't try to time the market. That's where people, oh, I'm going to wait a little bit more. Then you'll miss the train. You'll miss the bus. Here's the problem with so many Americans. I'm making 75 grand a year. I earn a salary increase, I'm making 85 grand a year. Oh shit, making 85, I gotta go buy some new shit. Keep living like you're making 75 grand a year. Take the extra money, invest it. You were living good here, life is fine. But in our country, we have a tendency that, oh, I was making 90 grand a year, I got a raise to 110. Oh shit, this 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath house, nah, I can't have that anymore. Now I need a 3-car garage, 6,000 square foot house, and I gotta furnish it as well. And what was wrong with the other house? Yeah, we're quick to wanna upgrade, new shit. I gotta get the new iPhone. Think about that for a second. Why does Apple come out with a new phone every year? You know why? Because our dumbasses will go buy it. But we'll go stand in line 24 hours, overnight, for the new hotness that may do 2 new things than the phone that we already have. And have the nerve to celebrate the first person that runs out and, I got it, new iPhone, yeah. And I'm looking at this person like, okay, first of all, you know you could have had that delivered. Second of all, your dumbass just stood in line for 24 hours, paid $1,200, and this is America, so he may have even financed it, for some shit that does 2 new things than the one you already had. Why? Think of what he could have done with the time, the money, the effort, and it doesn't make sense to me. We're always after the new hotness. Think about it. Everybody in here, grandparents, great-grandparents, they paid off 30-year mortgages. Everybody has that grandparent, that uncle, that aunt that you still go over there and that house smells old as shit because they've been in it for 35, 40 years. You know what the average person now stays in a house? 5.5 years. 5.5 years. Be consistent with your money. Don't always go chasing the new hotness is out there. And when you do earn your salary increase, invest it. Make more money. If you're at 75 and you go to 85, don't go buying new shit. When you get to 100, okay, buy a little something. You earned it. But don't go straight to trying to live, okay, I went 75 and I'm at 100. Oh yeah, now it's really going to get started. No. Incremental. Here's what bothered me on GameStop and the world thinking they were going to democratize trading. Most of the people that were on there didn't know shit about investing 2 weeks before. They read some shit on Reddit, read some shit on Facebook, Instagram, then it took them over to Reddit, then people were like, oh, what? Oh, GameStop. And no one knew shit about the actual GameStop model. The brick and mortar model of GameStop and how it was not a good model. And so it was a social movement that was not a movement at all. And everybody was really empowered because Robinhood was this new trading platform that leveled the playing field for the small investor. Robinhood was literally allowing people to borrow $2,000 on margin. Margin is where you borrow money to trade stocks. If the stock goes down, you still owe that money back. It was you going to Vegas, going to the cash window and saying, give me a $2,000 marker, and then going to gamble, and you lost it all, and you still owe the house $2,000. And that's what Robinhood was allowing people to do. What was mind-blowing to me is when everybody was so busy watching GameStop, no one took the time to ask, who owns Robinhood? How is Robinhood functioning? What are the ins and outs of Robinhood? No one realized that, you know who was the biggest financial backer of Robinhood? It's a hedge fund called Citadel Capital. Citadel is owned by Ken Griffith. Ken Griffith is one of the most successful hedge fund billionaires in the world. And the way Robinhood makes their money is they run the trades through Citadel. Citadel makes the bridge of the trade in the little fractional pieces in between. If you traded a stock for $5 and maybe they got you in at $5.02, that 2 cents is going between Robinhood and Citadel. Try to follow me here. When you all saw trading halted, it was Citadel that told Robinhood, stop that shit. Because what was happening is all those people were borrowing on margin and thinking the stock was going to go up. And if you watched, I put in there, the stock is going to go down. So much so, here I'm buying this, here's why, watch what happens. And the stock went down. And you all saw it, it's on there, go look on Slack. No one was taking the time to actually figure out, okay, what's going on there? Everybody was so busy on Reddit. It's going to the moon. I can't tell you how many times I read it was going to the moon. And we're democratizing trading. We're making it fair. And I'm like, you don't show up to a party that's been going on for years and think you're doing some shit in a week because you read it on a message board. Come on. And if you go look at today, I think GameStop, I don't know, it's $100 and change. Maybe it's at $2, but it is never going back to the $400+ it was. It's not a $400 stock. And then they turned around and did it with the movie theater, AMC, and made AMC's stock go up. And then that stock went back down. The only thing they did for AMC, which I give AMC credit, they came out and they were honest about it. All the executives who owned stock in it, when the stock went up, they sold all their shit and told you, yep, we're out. They said, we made millions. So they were like, thank you, Reddit. And they were honest about it. They're like, hey, we're out. So again, do your homework or at least ask questions. And damn sure don't read your shit on a message board. You know, if you want to get your information from Bloomberg, CNBC, you want to come ask me any questions, not like I'm the oracle of investing, but good God, don't go to Reddit. Dad, just don't go. Stay away from it. Don't go into the light. And that's just some broke shit. Most of us in here have met that person or have been that person that went to Vegas, and be it you were playing blackjack or you were on a slot machine or whatever, and you know that person who they say, oh my, I was up 25 grand and I gave it all back. Like, even if you were up 25 grand and you got back down to 15, walk away. Leave the party with more than you came with. That's all I'm saying. Leave ahead. Even if you gave some back, you were feeling good. Oh, I'm on a heater. I'm gonna win. Okay, fine. Keep it. But there comes a point. Walk away. Just like stock investing. If you leave the party with more than you came with, you won.
And that concludes the workshop. Here are the 15 steps to become a millionaire by Javon McCormick. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe so you can get more modern leader lessons from Javon.
Do not live a what-if life. Do that shit, whatever it is. What if I'd have gone to Costa Rica? Go. What if I would have got my master's? Go get it. Wow, what if I would have taken piano lessons? Go do it. Don't live a what-if life, ever, ever. This shit isn't dress rehearsal. You're not practicing for the next one. You get one go round at this life thing. You can go all out.